The American Council of the Blind, ACB, and the American Foundation for the Blind, AFB, are again partnering together to offer educational scholarships ranging from $2,500 to $7,500 for legally blind students. Congratulations to our 2022 scholarship recipients. Brody Enoch is from New York, New York. He is a post-secondary student returning to school after an absence and is pursuing a law degree. This fall, he will be attending City University of New York School of Law. Brody is receiving the Fiorito and Dillman Scholarship.
A bald black man with a mustache and goatee.
It's been a long progress. I started out as a political scientist. I figured I wanted to know how the world worked. And then I went and I received my master's degree in social work because I figured, I'd have to help. I want to help people. And everything I've done over the last 15 plus years, 20 years, has always come back to me sitting in a room with an attorney telling me what I can or can't do. So I figured I'm going to cut out the middleman and just become the attorney myself.
Tatiana Tolliver Hughes is from Dunbar, West Virginia. She is an entering freshman interested in pursuing a degree in philosophical law and policy. This fall, she will be attending Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. Tatiana is receiving the Dillman Scholarship.
A black woman with long braided hair.
So what got me interested in my field of study is just kind of overcoming little prejudices every day, being a Black blind woman in America and just being surrounded by family members in similar situations. I was able to notice just the little disadvantages compared to, some of my other peers, some of my fully able peers, some of my white peers, just issues that were kind of laid down in the laws of our country and our civil rights. So I was really inspired to examine those and fight to make sure, just basically fight oppression overall.
Julia Murray is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She is an entering freshman interested in pursuing a degree in exercise science, pre-occupational therapy. This fall, she will be attending Slippery Rock University in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Julia is receiving the Social Work, Rehabilitation, and Teaching Subcommittee Floyd Walls Scholarship.
A fair-skinned white woman.
So I think the largest thing that made me interested in occupational therapy is all the supports that I've had growing up. So I've worked with many people that helped me access the world around me as a deaf-blind person. I both have a hearing and vision loss. I wear cochlear implants. So I've had a vision teacher, hearing teacher, and an intervener who have worked with me. And my mom was also a huge advocate in my life. So I wanted to do the same for other people. So I think that's the main thing that has really inspired me to want to become an occupational therapist. And I love how occupational therapists are, what I like to say, daily driven. So they work with patients or clients with daily living skills, if it's motor skills or basically anything that they would need on the daily to access the world around them. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that has inspired me to go into occupational therapy.
Hussein is from Austin, Texas, but is originally from Iraq. He is a graduate student pursuing a master's degree in social work. This fall, he will be attending the University of Texas in Austin, Texas. Hussein is receiving the Dillman Scholarship.
A Middle Eastern man wearing dark glasses.
What got me to my field of study, I was accepted to psychology, and during doing my psychology, I find that there are something missing from the psychology. So I met a classmate and she was telling me about the School of Social Work. And I said, well, let me check it out and see. So I applied for it and to do dual degree. So I got accepted, and I found like the social work, it have more interact with people. So that's what got me to my field of study.
Brody Enoch.
Interestingly enough, I could use one of my academic achievements. I can say the fact that I ran for city council, didn't win. I could say that I'm an elected official. I can say that I was able to start my own not-for-profit that advocates for pedestrian safety and housing for the visually impaired. I could say all of that, but I think what I'm most proud of is the fact that I've learned to use my cane in a manner so that I can actually tap people on their ankles just hard enough so they know I'm there, but not hard enough to hurt them. And if you use a cane, you know exactly what I mean, because people get in the way all the time. So my biggest accomplishment is that I'm able to navigate through people and get where I'm going.
Julia Murray.
I would have to say my greatest accomplishment is joining the Pittsburgh Rhinos blind ice hockey team. It's a new sport here in the United States, started in 2015. So Pittsburgh introduced its first blind ice hockey team in 2015, 2016. And I remember when I was younger, I could not figure out how to ice skate, especially because my balance is not the best. So I felt like ice skating was just never a strength for me. So when somebody tried to convince me to join the blind ice hockey team, I was like, I'm not sure about that, just because of my skating. But I tried it. And after like a couple practices, I fell in love with it. And I realized that after practicing, I can gain the skills needed for skating, and definitely gotten better over time. So I would definitely say the greatest accomplishment for me is playing blind ice hockey, and I love the sport. It's such an awesome sport. So.
Tatiana Tolliver Hughes.
My greatest accomplishment would have to be mentoring visually impaired kids. When I was younger, I really wished that I had an older role model, someone who had kind of gone through the school system and had struggled with advocating for accommodations and things like that, to just kind of vent to and help guide me along the way. So it's been such a blessing that I've been able to do that for other kids and just help them pave their path a little easier.
Hussein.
Well, I kind of have 3 accomplishments, but the most recent one, I got accepted to the PhD at the School of Social Work in the University of Texas. But I got also achieved the Presidential Achieve Award, this highest in the university, from Austin Community College. And then this past, actually Saturday, I got be the keynote speaker for the graduation of class 2022. So that is a huge from among of the 55,000 students. So
Brody.
People might not know about me well. I play adaptive baseball. I'm an athlete. I'm a musician. I play in a couple of bands. I sing badly, but that doesn't stop me. I am a father of 3. All of my children have multiple degrees, so I'm really just trying to keep up with them.
Julia.
So I definitely think being a blind ice hockey player is one thing that a lot of people don't know. And I would also say a lot of people don't know that I love to ski. It's one of my favorite activities to do. I've been doing it since I was 9 years old, and I just love being up on the slopes and flying down the hill and things like that, and hitting all the black diamonds that I can and challenging myself. I would definitely think that's probably something that people don't know.
Tatiana.
I would say I'm kind of a triple threat when it comes to the arts. I was in show choir 3 out of 4 years in high school. So I am a singer, dancer, actress, And I love the performing arts overall.
Hussein.
I had 64 surgeries because I was playing volleyball and it's like, you know, with my team, and we got car bombed. We drove to the stadium and the car blew himself. He is inside the car. So one of the shrapnel, I flew to the air. When I flew to the air, like you could see people like flying like birds, but it's a human. A car flew into the air like it's a big explosion. So when I come to the ground, my face touched the ground before my body. So I reached, and then my nose started bleeding. And I said, okay, like just my nose broke, let me run and I could fix it later. So when I started run, shrapnel hit me exactly in the right side of my skull, and it dropped half my skull, right cheek, and my nose. And after that, I came to the ground slowly until I lay down. And my dad come to the stadium. He didn't recognize me because half of my face is gone. And then he took me to the small clinic that time we have in the village. And then Dr. Sinis, he saw me, say, go ahead, take care of your other kids, because I have two brothers injured with me as well. And Qusay, half an hour, he will die. So they put me in a dad room where the people dead. They already put me there and they left me. And after 6 hours, my dad come to take me home. And the traditional in Middle East, you wash the body and take it to the cemetery. So when he come and I heard his voice and I said, Dad, don't leave me, I will die. And he started shouting, say, oh my God, my son is still alive. And he put me in a car with our neighbor. He just started driving. And in the way, we met American soldiers. When they saw my injuries, they took me to their base for treatment. And I went in a coma for 12 days. That time, because my family didn't hear nothing from me for 12 days, they did the funeral. They got the death certificate from the Iraqi government. And later on, when I woke up, we tried to reach them. They didn't believe I'm still alive. Until it took a while, it took 3 days to convince them I'm still alive.
A logo, ACB in print and braille, American Council of the Blind, together for a bright future.